Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by EnergySage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar experts, community projects and heat pump specialists in your area. And by you. Support the channel today and help us remain 100% independent. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. Believe it or not, the Nissan Leaf electric car is fast approaching its 15th birthday and is the only EV sold outside of Japan that is still sold with a CHAdeMO connector. We've known for some time that it's due to change when Nissan officially launches the next generation Leaf, and this week Nissan gave us the first sneak peek as to what that new vehicle will look like, publishing images of its next generation Leaf alongside some other of its future EV models. While this isn't an official reveal, Nissan was very explicit to tell us that that is coming later this year, it confirmed two things. The next generation Nissan Leaf will be a compact crossover, and it will also get NACS as standard in North America. Range-wise, Nissan says we can expect 373 miles, 600 kilometers per charge. And also unveiled at the event was a tease of the all-new Nissan Micra EV, which will launch next year primarily as a European model and be a Nissan-badged variant of the already in production Renault 5. There's also a new Nissan Juke EV on the way. When it comes to the Leaf, though, there's no word on pricing, but I think it would be a fair guess to assume it won't be quite as affordable as the current model, which I think should make all of us feel somewhat frustrated. Chinese automotive giant BYD has been snapping at the heels of a certain US electric automaker for some time now, and this week it showed that while it still lags slightly in EV sales, it's now ahead of Tesla in terms of revenue. Publishing its 2024 financials this week, the Chinese company claimed an operating revenue of 777 billion yuan, a 29% increase year over year. That's slightly higher than the money Tesla achieved in the same period, although I should note that BYD does still produce plug-in hybrids, battery packs and commercial vehicles, not to mention operate as a parts supplier to others in the industry. BYD's EV sales last year were just 30,000 less than Tesla, although Tesla's profit was higher than BYD's. Given the massive drop in Tesla sales this year, it is conceivable BYD could overtake Tesla by year's end. That said, it's also worth noting that BYD's ties to the PRC may prove as difficult on an ethical level as Tesla's ties to the attempted destruction of democracy in the US. While the Smart brand has certainly morphed from its cute city car origins to something else, the company is continuing to debut new models, and this week it launched the Smart No. 5 in Europe. A mid-size electric SUV, what isn't these days, the Smart No. 5 is built on the Geely PMA2 platform, a platform that it shares with the Zeekr 007, Zeekr 7X and Geely Galaxy E8. The entry-level Smart No. 5 comes with a 76 kWh LFP battery pack, while higher trim variants come with an 800-volt 100 kWh NCM pack, capable of up to 590 kilometers, 366 miles on the WLTP test cycle. Both all- and rear-wheel drive variants will be offered, with European market pricing starting from around €46,000 and going up to €57,000. The order books will open in its launch market of Germany on April 24th. After continued threats of doing so, the President of the US has announced a 25% tariff on the sale of all new cars in the US that aren't made there. Another, frankly, idiotic and short-sighted move, which some people suggest is a screen to the Signalgate debacle. The President announced the tariffs during a live-streamed press briefing in which the White House attempted to suggest the tariffs would bring in billions of dollars to the US. But as I recently discovered when ordering discrete electronic components for a project, tariffs are inevitably being passed on to the customer. The 25% tariffs have already led to threats of retaliation from other countries, and it's worth noting that the tariffs will also impact cars that are made in the US but feature components made overseas. The White House and the Commerce Department say they plan on having a way to better differentiate US parts from non-US parts, but the reality here is that whatever car you're buying, the cost will inevitably go up, something even Tesla has admitted will impact them. And if you're watching this outside of the US, it's probably worth noting that it will undoubtedly impact you too, because when orangutans start throwing poo-poo, everyone gets covered. To happier news now, and the announcement from Mercedes-Benz that its e-Vito panel van can now be ordered with a larger 90 kWh battery pack. While the announcement appears to only affect European market customers at this time, the new variant will be available with either 85 or 150 kilowatt motor packages, the latter coming over from the passenger van e-Vito Tourer variant, as well as a choice of two different vehicle lengths, short or long wheelbase. It's worth noting that in Europe, panel vans are far more popular as work vehicles than pickup trucks, and these new additions to the lineup make the e-Vito a more practical choice for many. Mercedes-Benz says the new variants can be ordered from €46,000 and will offer up to 480 kilometres, just under 300 miles of range on the WLTP test cycle. There's no word on if the model will launch in other markets, but for those who are interested, the original 60 kilowatt-hour variants will be offered in Europe alongside these new, longer-legged versions. GMC has unveiled its 2026 variant of the GMC Sierra EV electric pickup truck, adding new trims and lowering the price point by $25,000. Adding a new entry-level trim called the Elevation, which is available in both standard and extended range variants, you'll be able to get behind the wheel from under $64,000, including mandatory fees. If you want an extended range, that will add another $8,000 to the price, but for those who want more ground clearance, there's also now an AT4 variant, which features 2 inches of additional ground clearance and all-wheel steer as standard from just over $81,000. Like its entry-level sibling, though, if you want features like 800-volt DC fast charging capability, onboard mains inverters, and mid-gates, you'll have to pay extra. The range-topping Denali with max range package still retails from over $100,000. Hyundai Motor Group has just celebrated the official opening of its Metaplant in Georgia, where it will manufacture EVs and hybrids for the North American market. Part of a $12.6 billion investment in the Peach Pit state, the Metaplant consists of 2 sections, one devoted to battery packs and one to vehicle assembly, and says the company has significantly increased jobs in the region. Now, if you are listening to this and going, wait, didn't the Metaplant start making cars last year? Well, you would be right. Back in October, the facility started making US-spec Hyundai Ioniq 5s at the facility, but this week marked the official opening of the factory and the official end to its planned construction. At the official opening event, Hyundai also confirmed its Ioniq 9 is now rolling off the production line too, and next year, the same facility will also be home to US-spec Kia EVs. BMW also announced its own milestone in new vehicle production this week, confirming on Thursday that its new production facility for EVs in Hungary is in the finishing straight of production preparations. While BMW hasn't made any production vehicles at the new facility yet, it says it's just finished and tested its full assembly process at the plant. While it's been quote-unquote making new class vehicles at the factory for a few months now, they've not been made on the finished production line, and now that line has been completed, BMW says it's ready to start testing everything from the full assembly process through to its supply chain integration, paint booths and more. What makes this particular facility interesting, though, is that BMW was able to accelerate its production readiness by utilising virtual modelling and testing to streamline the real-world production line without building it first. And because new class is so very different to current generation BMW EVs in its construction, the company says it needed a new production line that allowed these new features to optimise production flow and cut down on production time. We'll find out shortly if its plans bear the expected fruit. Here's a question for you. Which EV brand is undergoing the most growth in the US and Canada right now? You might think it's Hyundai or Kia, given their stellar sales in recent quarters, but according to JD Power, the answer is Chevrolet. In its latest report, the organisation says that the Chevrolet Equinox EV, which ended last year as the 8th best-selling EV of the US of the year, despite only launching in 2024, has proven incredibly popular among buyers. While it's nowhere near the volume sales of Tesla, which still has a sizable portion of the current EV marketplace, Chevrolet's growth in the EV market has seen it already outsell Ford, and if things continue as GM hopes, could see it quickly catch up to the politically hot potato that is Tesla. Add in the planned relaunch of the Chevrolet Bolt EV this year, and it could be very interesting this year for Chevrolet. Watch this space. And finally for the segment, we've been closely following Kiwi firm VassEV as it exited stealth and brought its electric hydrofoil boats to market. Earlier this year, the brand confirmed that its VS9 electric hydrofoil had completed all of the necessary certification for it to operate on a commercial ferry route operated by its first commercial customer, Fuller's 360, in Auckland, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And this week, the brand confirmed that it's expanded its operations outside of its home country for the first time. It's just opened a new office in the US state of Rhode Island. VassEV says it hopes to bring its VS9 and other models like it to the US and Canadian market in the near future. Given that the northeast of the US, not to mention large parts of Canada to the north, rely heavily on boats for everything from recreation to commuting, this new office should be very good for VassEV and place it in an ideal position in the burgeoning electric boat market. This is especially true since, unlike many of its competitors, it's not focused on high-ticket luxury boats, but ones that actually have to work hard for their living. Our news shorts are coming in a moment, but first a quick word from longtime sponsor of the channel, EnergySage. EnergySage helps homeowners connect with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program or get a heat pump installed. We used EnergySage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our EnergySage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. So follow the links below to sign up for either of EnergySage's free, no-obligation services and get that ball rolling today. Plus, if you use an EnergySage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping the channel out too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support this channel? It's a win-win-win. And now it's time for our news shorts. Lucid is recalling just under 4,300 all-weather floor mats for the Lucid Air to address an issue that can lead to the mats sliding forwards and covering the accelerator pedal. Lucid will reimburse customers for the mats. Segway has announced a recall of 220,000 of the Ninebot Max G30P and Ninebot Max G30LP electric scooters after it discovered that the folding mechanisms on affected scooters can fail, leading to potential injuries. Chinese brand Aito, which is owned by tech giant Huawei, has launched its newest electric models in its home market of China. A new refreshed M5 called the M5 Ultra EV has debuted, along with a refreshed version of its M9 SUV. Following on from its announcement last week with Neue CATL has now announced a new partnership with Baidu in China that will see the pair work together on a slew of new tech, including battery swapping, autonomous driving, and AI research. Stellantis is reportedly looking to establish a second production facility for its Citroën e-C3 electric car. According to reports from Serbia, the brand is considering making e-C3s at a facility in Serbia, which would supplement its already planned Slovak production line. While we reported last week that Audi is planning job cuts to streamline its business, this week the company's CEO confirmed that the brand will begin building a, quote, A3-like EV, end quote, at its Ingolstadt facility in Germany from next year. Finnish charging station company Kempower has announced a new product for the North American market called the Kempower Flex Satellite. It's designed to offer DC fast charging for both CCS and NACS compatible vehicles from a dual-headed station. Sticking with charging, the New York Power Authority, continuing its work on its Evolve NY charging network, has opened 6 new EV fast charging stations in downtown White Plains. It expands EV charging into the lower Hudson Valley region. Honda and Acura's chosen CCS to NACS adapters have received official approval to be used on the Tesla Supercharger network, and, says Honda, customers will be notified later this spring when the adapters will be available to purchase, giving them access to superchargers across North America. As we rapidly approach the US tax day, the IRS has announced a temporary exemption to EV tax credit rules to allow dealerships who didn't file the necessary documentation on time last year regarding customer purchases to do so now. This should help those of you who are having your EV purchase credits rejected when you file your taxes. UK charging network InstaVolt has opened what it says is the largest fast charging site in the UK, just off the A34 in Winchester. It features 44 fast chargers capable of each providing up to 160 kilowatts per stall. Meanwhile, Weston-Super-Mare in North Somerset, UK, is now home to the region's first all-electric bus depot. It was made possible by a £14.9 million investment from First Bus and the UK's Zebra Fund for electric buses. Stellantis has announced a €38 million investment in its Verone plant in Italy that will see the plant begin manufacturing electric motors for future STLA small platform EVs. Construction on the lines is already underway. A UK electric bus firm is considering a legal action against Brighton and Hove Council after its contract for bus services in the area was given to a rival firm operating diesel buses. The firm, the Big Lemon, says the contract is basically against the council's emissions targets. Portugal's government has announced it's expanding its €4,000 EV purchase programme to encourage more people to get behind the wheel. It's increased the eligible upper vehicle price tag to €55,000. e-Vito company eHang has announced a new partnership with JAC Motors and Guochan Holdings to establish a new manufacturing base in Hefei. The state-of-the-art facility will help eHang continue towards its planned future of air taxi services. The Canadian government has banned Tesla from its federal EV rebate program after Tesla claimed $43 million Canadian in rebates in a few days. Tesla stands accused of preemptively filing rebates before cars were handed over. The province of Nova Scotia has also announced a Tesla subsidy ban. It's official. California has nearly 50% more EV charging stations than it does gas pumps. Last year, it had 178,549 public charging stations and only 120,000 gas pumps. Hyundai has teased a new vehicle it's calling the Instaroid. It's what the brand is calling a dream car concept and leverages video game-inspired design concepts built around its Insta-EV electric hatchback. No, I don't think it's entering production. Porsche says it's working on a new multi-level inverter that will allow it to build an AC battery for EVs. It's made by dividing a traditional battery pack into individual modules distributed over 3 different electrical phases. Rivian has become a minority shareholder in a new company called Also. Focusing on small, lightweight vehicles, it was spun off from Rivian to focus on micromobility projects, both on and off-road. We will share more when we know more. When Nissan and Honda confirmed that their idea of a joint merger was unlikely to happen, many of us thought that it also meant the two firms' cooperation on other projects was on the line. But Nissan confirmed this week that it's never stopped talking to Honda and remains, quote, very open, end quote, to future partnership. Xiaomi's XU7 has just completed its official Chinese crash testing under the C-NCAP test program. According to the agency, the XU7, the first car from the tech company, not only got 5 stars, but also the highest crash test rating of any car tested last year. We've seen several automakers toy with the idea of adding manual gearshift simulation to EVs with varying degrees of success, but this week we learned that Ford has patented a simulated shifter design for EVs that modifies torque and power according to shifter position. A new report by European Auto Industry Organisation ACEA shows that registrations of EVs in the EU have soared 28.4% in the first 2 months of this year when we compare it to the same period last. EVs are now reaching a 15.2% market share. The European Union has funded 47 projects throughout its member states designed to secure critical raw materials. This includes raw materials required for EV battery production and is funded through the Raw Materials Act. German company NBW has slimmed down its plans to expand its high-power charging network in the country. Previously, it wanted to establish 30,000 fast charging points by 2030. Now it's targeting at least 20,000. Construction at a new facility where Toyota plans to make next-generation solid-state battery packs appears to have hit a bit of a slowdown. According to local reporting, the plant is still due to be built, but Toyota could now scale it back or delay it further. New York mobility company Revel, which operates rideshare and charging services in New York City, has opened its first EV fast charging hub in San Francisco, California, making its migration to the US West Coast. It plans more in California throughout this year. As new model year Kia EVs roll onto dealer lots with NACS connectors, Kia owners with older eGMP-based EVs are finding that they can again make use of Tesla superchargers after Hyundai vehicles were officially allowed onto the network. Kia owners simply just have to tell Tesla's app they're using Hyundai EVs. NIO has published its fourth quarter and year-end financials for 2024, and while its sales and revenue continue to grow alongside increased deliveries, the company also recorded a proportionally increased loss. MG is readying to launch its MGS5 EV in the UK. Originally launched in China last year, the compact SUV will go on sale in April in the UK, with planned mainland European launches shortly thereafter. Prices start in the UK from £28,500 sterling. Electrify America has announced a $43.5 million investment into national EV education efforts in the US, operated by non-profit VassEV. The program is designed to help educate and inform customers about going electric. BYD has officially launched its newest EV in China. Called the Sea Lion 05, it's a compact SUV that will be available in China from 117,800 yuan. BYD says it plans on selling it globally. Sticking with BYD, off the back of stellar earnings this week, the company has upped its goals for EV exports outside of China. It's promising it wants to export more than 800,000 vehicles outside of the PRC this year. GM announced this week that its GM-Pilot EV charging network, operated in partnership with EVgo, now spans 130 different locations across 25 different US states. It wants to expand that network further this year. A new study from Finnish instrumental measurement firm VassEV has confirmed what most of us knew. If you live in a southernmost US state, you're most likely to have the smallest variance in EV range between summer and winter. German battery specialist TheIon has announced it's close to completing an A-series funding round worth around €15 million. It would help it further develop its proprietary sulfur crystal battery chemistry that it hopes will extend the life of sulfur-based batteries. Lead the Charge, a group of diverse organisations working for an equitable, sustainable and fossil-free auto supply chain, are calling on Hyundai to commit to providing its promise of zero carbon and ensuring high air quality at its new $6 billion Louisiana steel facility, much of which will be used in the building of EVs. Extending its influence into Japan, battery swap specialist Ampol has announced a partnership with Japanese OEMs to deploy battery swap stations in Tokyo to support commercial battery swaps for electric trucks and buses. As Hyundai and Genesis EVs are given access to Tesla's supercharger network, owners of cars made by either brand are now being offered free NACS adapters to enable them to use the network. New model year cars will come with NACS as standard. And finally, for the news shorts, Chevrolet has officially opened the order books in the US for the most powerful Chevrolet Blazer yet, the Chevrolet Blazer EV SS. Customers can place an order with pricing starting from just under $62,000. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are next, but first, a word from one of our most important sponsors, you. Transport Evolved is, believe it or not, celebrating its 15th year this year, and we've worked hard to remain 100% independent during that time. But that's only been possible thanks to the kind donations of folks like you. We've never charged for our content, and we hope never to do so, but that means we operate on a business model that relies on the kind support of people who like what we do. To say we run with a wafer-thin margin of operation would be a complete understatement, so if you are willing and able, we would love to have your support through Patreon, YouTube, Bitcoin or Ko-fi. You can even send us old-fashioned checks. Unfortunately, YouTube is continuing to screw with revenue streams for content creators and independent journalists on the platform, and just this week sent out an email telling creators it would start auto-inserting more ads into content, something I personally have no doubt will actually shrink rather than grow our audience. So while we look for alternative hosting outlets, we're promoting our Patreon membership with a very special offer. If you go to Patreon and use March 2025 at checkout when signing up, you'll get 25% discount off your first year of membership. I would really love to increase our monthly support by at least 5% from its current level, so I can, in turn, pay our team what they deserve. I hope you will consider joining up and helping us out. Thanks. And now it's time for those last two stories. On last week's show, I told you about BYD's just released 1 megawatt EV charging stations, along with its claim that its new next-generation battery and EV charging tech could make EVs as quick to fill up as a gasoline car. Many of you commented on that video that megawatt charging was already in existence, and you'd be right, primarily in the trucking world, but this is the first time it's been commercialised in the electric car world. And commercialisation is the right word, because despite naysayers claiming it wasn't real, BYD says it will now start installing its next generation charging stations as early as next week. It says it will begin installing its 1 megawatt charging stations during April, and says plans for installing its first 4,000 ultra-fast charging stations are already being finalised. Granted, we won't see them everywhere because of the massive power demands, but I do wonder how long it's going to take the rest of the world to catch up. And finally, if we're going to talk about truly evolving our world to a place of cleaner, greener, safer, smarter and more equitable transportation, we frankly have to look beyond the personally owned car. And this week, that's exactly what the city of Paris has done, with the news that a proposal to turn 500 streets in the centre of the city into a no-car zone officially won support from voters. Once in place, the 10,000 parking spaces in roads that will be closed will be eliminated, and then residents will be given a chance to decide which of the car-free roads will be turned into pedestrian areas. Paris already has a substantial number of its streets designated car-free, and this is a total win for fans of local communities, walkable cities and equitable public transit. That said, I should note that while the measure had a 65% support among voters, only 4% of the 1.4 million registered voters in Paris actually bothered to take part in the election. And I would personally love to see the overwhelming majority of people voting and supporting this. So get involved in your local politics, folks. It matters. And it's your way to have your say. And on that slightly civics-themed note, we are in fact done for today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you who can help you make that switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. Plus, if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. And you can find out more by heading to myeva.org. And thanks to EnergySage. Follow the link below to find out how easy it can be to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you make that step towards energy self-sufficiency through solar on the roof of your home, by joining a community solar project, or by getting a heat pump installed. And of course, if you are someone who made your own transportation or energy greener this week, well done. I love hearing from you. If you'd like to support this channel directly, don't forget, as I noted earlier, that you can support us from $1.50 a month on Patreon, complete with that first month or year's discount. Don't forget too that if you are in the Greater Portland area and you need a video production team for your business, whatever it is, we are available for non-EV production work, so please reach out. And don't forget too that we have swag you can buy over at our swag store, including a brand new design that is pro-EV, anti-fascist, and you can also make one-off donations using Ko-fi, Bitcoin or old-fashioned checks. We also have a new Amazon affiliate program code you can use if you decide to support Mr. Bezos. We personally don't like Amazon, but since Amazon just automatically allocates a percentage of its funds to either affiliates or its own bank account, We would rather it came to us than to Jeff if and when you have to use Amazon. So there is a link in the down below. You can find other content from us on our main channel and on Transport Evolve Take 2. We publish on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays on this channel, plus you'll find us on Sundays over on Transport Evolve Take 2. To finish, remember that you are valid. You are loved and you have a place in this world, even if you are among the thousands of people currently being targeted by our government for simply existing or having the wrong type of job. Know that it is okay to not be okay, and it's also okay and valid to be angry, scared and just want to curl up or do something else. But know that existence is resistance, and by doing so it makes it harder for hate to exist. So be inspirational, be yourself, do good. Don't let hatred win. Speak up, be bold, make good trouble, peacefully protest. And make sure you attend your local community town halls and become an active voice if you want to change the way things are going. And as a side note, just for this weekend, if you are planning on getting involved in protests this weekend, make them lawful, be smart, and please keep your wits about you. This, whatever it is a marathon, not a sprint. So, until next time, stay safe regardless of your identity or who you love. Be an amazing ally, be kind, be that positive change you want to see in the world. And please, for the sake of everyone's future, don't let hate or ignorance win. As always, keep evolving.